Okay, 8th grade, you should be on page 220. We're on 4.4 here.
Marissa.
Solving algebraic inequalities. As you'll probably remember, we were just doing equations. If you're paying attention to what 7th grade was doing for some of their stuff, they were doing inequalities. Equalities, or equations, as we call them. Equations have equal signs. Inequalities have greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Those should look familiar to you. Page 220. So you could have something like, hey, -3 is greater than -5. That's one example of an inequality. We've got lots of other ones here. You could also have something like, that's a good one. You could have 3x is greater than or equal to 12. So then you would want to solve it, and you're like, hey, divide by 3. Divide by 3. It's just like a regular equation, only this time you just got a greater than or equal to sign. So x is greater than or equal to 4. You've been paying attention to what 7th grade's been working on right now. You got 0 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Closed circle, variable has to be on the left side. So that's the solution set. So anything for this original equation, 3x is greater than or equal to 12, as long as you have 4, 5, 6, 7, anything on up there, then that's going to be the right answer for it. So you can, looking at this original one, you could just say, hey, I'm just going to guess and check until I get it. You don't want to do that. I'm not even going to teach you it. I never teach students how to do it because it's the guess and check method, which is like the lowest level of learning that you can do. So we're going to teach you how to actually balance it, which is kind of what we're doing right here. They do have an example for you on page 221 midway down, but I don't really think that you necessarily need to do that, but if you're like, hey, I'm really confused and want a different example, that will give you another perspective. If you can look on... Okay. I kind of already did that one. Well, let's go to top of page 223. So flip another page over. Top of page 223. It has A. It has 1/10 y plus 7 plus 9/10 y is less than 9. So if you're trying to solve that, first thing you should say is, I'm going to get like terms, combine like terms. Everything's being added here, so you can shift everything around however you want. So 1/10 y plus 9/10 y is just going to equal regular y, because it's one whole y, plus 7 is less than 9. How do I get the variable by itself? Subtract 7 on both sides. Y is less than 2. After you do that, they also want you to graph the solution set, which is really simple. You always put a 0 in there. I put a 2 in there, 1, 2. If you have a greater than or less than sign, it's an open circle. If you have a greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, then it should be a closed circle. So I would actually make sure I'm taking notes on that part right here. I'll put it in black for you guys. Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, okay, this one's supposed to be this way. Greater than or equal to, just greater than or less than, this looks, alright, I'm just going to erase that because that just looks awful. Greater than or less than means open circle, and greater than or less than or equal to, greater than or equal to means closed circle. When you're making these, before that one was less than. So you just follow the variable, follow which way ever this one's going. This one was pointing that way, so you still want the arrow to go that way. We have B, I'll give you one more here, bottom of page 224. Wait, that's 224, no, top of page 224. 1/2 y minus 4 plus 1/2 y. Oh, not equal. It's greater than or equal to 8. So you can look at that, and again, you want to say, hey, I can get combine like terms. Yes, you can say I'm going to subtract this, but as long as you recognize that this is really what this looks like, that you can turn addition to turn subtraction to addition the opposite. You could rearrange like terms first if you wanted. I'm going to do that. So 1/2 y plus 1/2 y equals 1 whole y, and now I have plus and minus 4 is greater than or equal to 8. Then you want to get the 4 off by adding 4. By adding 4 to both sides. Y is greater than or equal to 12. And then again, you're like, hey, I'm going to graph the solution set. Remember, this is greater than, or equal to, I'll do 5, 10, 11, 12. Closed circle, pointing to the right because that's where it's pointing. Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to means closed circle. Alright, and then you guys can work on guided practice 1 to 2.